Okay, so this is a video on how to remove and replace the main fusible link on a 2006 Lexus GS350, GS340, I believe, are the ones with the, it's for the Lexuses with the 3.5 liter V6 engine. My particular one is a 2007 GS350 all-wheel drive. Basically what this would cause to happen is something causes the fuse to blow. In my case it was a bad alternator, so I replaced the alternator. And when you would get in your car, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So you would press the button if you had the keys or not. Nothing would come on. It wouldn't light up or go into accessory or anything. The only thing I was able to get mine to do was I could flash the high beams, I could honk the horn, and then I could turn the hazards on, and I could activate the security system, and that's really about it. So it did thoroughly brick my car, which was not a good thing. And watching this video will save you a lot of money, because I guarantee you if you take your car to a Lexus dealership to have this problem diagnosed and solved, you will be spending a lot more money than what you will be with just using some common knowledge about cars. So, like I said, you need to diagnose what is causing your fusible link to blow. Like I said, in my case, it was a bad alternator. The way I was able to test that is in the location where the fusible link blew, I soldered it back together. And as soon as I connected the battery, it would blow. And then just doing some basic troubleshooting, I disconnected the alternator, which I was already told from O'Reilly because I had it tested. I was having low, it wouldn't want to start all the time. I had it tested and they told me it was a bad alternator. So I already knew something screwy was going on with the alternator. Sure enough, I disconnected the alternator, soldered the fusible link back together, and it fired right up, and everything worked fine. So you'll have to do a little bit of troubleshooting on your end. I hope your situation is as easy as mine to diagnose and solve. But once you figure out what is causing your fusible link to blow, this is a tutorial on how to go ahead and remove the old one and replace it with a new one. And let me just show you here what happened to my car, what my fusible link actually looks like. So it's going to be right over here in the passenger side, closer to the windshield. And there'll be a black little cover right on here. For reference, your battery goes right there. And you can see right here on my car, this is where the fusible link blew, right where we're pointing right there, and see it's soldered back together. It's basically just this whole piece right here has plastic on top of it. It's just a big fuse that will keep voltage from going through your car if something's wrong, like well, my alternator went bad. So here's my new one over here. I'll link this in the description field as well on where I found this one. The particular one that I got was about $75, and I got it from Amazon. And you can see here, it's just a big fuse. And under that blue cover is where the part that blew in the old one was. So, see, just peel that back a little bit. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and here are the steps on removing your old fusible link from your 2006 to early 2010s Lexus GS350, GS430 with a 3.5 liter V6 engine, as well as the IS250s from this vintage. Here are those instructions. Thank you. Okay, and before we start, I should mention that what you need to do is you need to go ahead and remove the plastic covers that are on the passenger side of your car. Probably go ahead and remove the one that's covering the big silver Lexus one that goes right here. And you probably should be good with that. I removed all of them. So once you get your battery out, you'll see there's that little computer right there. And you will notice that there is this hole with that bolt right there. I believe that's a 10mm nut.
We had to make the hole. There's no hole there.
Right, so what we had to end up doing is we used a drill and we created that hole in the plastic so we can access that rather than having to remove all of this trim. And then we can go ahead and remove that bolt there. You got one here right on the front that's over by the motor mount, and then you have one right over here that's by the dipstick, all 10mm bolts. And under the actual plastic of the fuse itself, there's another nut right there. Okay guys, so we're removing the final bolts on the main fuse box right here. If you're wondering what this orange thing is, it is a cover to prevent your clothes from scratching up your fender when you're working on your engine bay. It's a nice little investment, especially on nicer cars such as these, in order to use those while you're working on them. So there is a connector right here which we need to unplug. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull this out right here. So all you have to do is you just have to push these clips in with a little screwdriver outward towards the intake, and then you push up on the bottom of it, and the entire connector should eventually pop off with a bit of persuasion, as it did for us right here. And you can see where that bolt that was inside of the link itself screws in right there. So if I'm not mistaken, this portion should be removable now, as we're seeing right here. And you have a few other harnesses connected. There's one closer to the fender. We are now going to see if those need to be removed or not in order for the fusible link to be replaced. So what we're doing currently, you can't see that, there's a little zip tie right here that we're going to go ahead and break in order to get this other wire out of our way here. Let me just try to get a better shot on that for you. Now we got some more room here, and it's free. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch off to the mechanic that's actually working on this. He'll have some better insight for you on what exactly he's doing, so he is going to go ahead and give you directions now on how to take apart the fuse box and end up replacing the fusible link itself.
So the mechanic doing all the work is his father, and does all the work on his car, pretty much. So we're going to start with this long fuse block first. Take a little pair of needle nose vice grips or something, so that way you can pull up on this. And then there are little tabs. You can see these little tabs right down here. You've got to release these tabs by pushing them out like this. So you pull up on this, you push up on that tab, and you kind of get one tab, and then you move to the next one, and you do another tab, and you just work all these tabs out by pulling up on this. And then you'll have this piece loose. It's still tight because all the wires down here are holding it down, so the hope is we can take this one out and that one out, and they will all slide out. So next I think we're going to try to get this smaller one out to see if we can get these two fuse blocks out, and then pull this one out and get them all out. There's no real good way to kind of show you this. You just, because I'm learning as I go too, but the trick is to get all these tabs. You need to push all these tabs out, and there's some here. You need to go and work all these tabs, and back here there's this little tab here and one over here, and you just keep working it till it gets free. And then there's a tab right back here on this one. You got to push this tab in on this one too, and you're just looking for all the tabs that you can find. Now don't mistake this for a tab, because this isn't a tab. This is like a guide, a slide that goes on here, and that's what keeps it in place. But you should be able to lift it up, and then this box. Now you can get out of your way. And now you got all your fuse boxes and wires, and hopefully we can pull this apart and put in a new one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove all these wires. These thick, heavy gauge wires. Hopefully it'll help us take a picture before you undo it, so you know how it goes back together again. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get the new one hooked up just like the old one. So go ahead and put it, because you'll notice that there's not anything connected here or connected here. So what I'm doing is just putting a mark on the new one so I know all the connectors to use. These are all 10mm connectors. And so now that we know which one goes where, we also took a picture so we can reference back, and we'll be able to hook this one up the same way. You also got to remove, there's 3 connectors down here that you got to remove as well. So we'll see what's going on with those. Okay. The next step is to separate this relay fuse block from this fuse block. So you just got, there's a lot of tension going on right here. If you need to unclip that, I guess you can. We were able to do it without unclipping it, but just keep kind of pressing up, and this thing will finally slide off these little guides that it goes in. And then we got to get this rear one. I'm gonna guess the same. And these dang clips sometimes will fall back in place. Just keep working out these clips, and this one finally detaches from this one as well. And then you can see this, we're finally getting down to the meat and potatoes of things, but there's also a bunch of things that connect on the other side of this tear. You can see these, all these bolts down here too. So we're gonna have to pull this out and remove all those. Go. We have this protective shield that comes in here that slides down to protect these connectors here. So you'll want to go ahead and slide this off, set it aside, and then we're going to work on getting all these removed. So might want to take a picture of that too. We have that off. Everything on this side is all 8mm. So you just want to go through and take all these 8mm ones off, and then this sucker should come out and we'll put the new one in. So we'll be back. All right, once you get all these guys disconnected, you can now remove these, and this is basically just you push this tab down and pull on those wires and they just slide right on out of there. So push down, slide it out, push down. The last one's going to be the hard one. And there it is. Now it's just as simple as putting the new one in and reassembling everything.
Alright, so when you get to this stage, go ahead and just get your new one and follow these steps in reverse order. And then we will show you what to do after you get your new one plugged in here.
So all in all, it's pretty dang easy to put it back together. Just, you know, bolt all your wires on this side, bolt all your wires on this side. There's this one little guy right here that connects this fuse block to here. That's a little tricky. You got to kind of pull up on it and slide it in, screw it down, and then you just slide this one back down in here and everything all just clips back in again. Don't forget your plastic protector piece here. And then we're just going to slide it back down into the fuse holder, reattach our zip ties, re-zip tie this one, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we're done. It was fairly easy to do. Like I said, it's just all those clips. You got to get those clips all unclipped and lined up and everything, but we got the new one mounted in there, and we'll get ready to attach it with our nuts and bolts and start the car and see how it goes. But yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So if you have the problem, don't worry about it. It just takes a little bit of time, and it should take you no longer than an hour. I think it took us less than an hour to do it. So good luck.
Alrighty everyone, finishing touches right here. We are connecting the battery back up, and we might actually go ahead and pull that plastic cover off of the Fusible Link box just to make sure it doesn't blow on us, or so then you can do that yourself just to see that we're not fooling you or anything, no tricks. So there it is, all good and installed. Going to throw the negative cable back on the battery, and power is now going to the vehicle. I'm going to tighten that down. Let me just show you here from the interior. We do have power in the interior, and you can see the engine start-stop button is green, which means that it is ready to start up. Boom. Ready to go. Let's go and start it up. Alright, show you one last time. Double check everything is working. We got no warning lights here. That's going on. Here, let me even close this for you. No warning lights. Hood open, obviously. Hood's open. Good RPM. And here, let me also show you with my vehicle scan tool that I have. To show you that there aren't any codes. I never had any codes thrown in the first place, but you might have. So we are going to go ahead and run a scan here. Boom, no issue detected. So scan all the vehicle here, and so this is how to retrain your windows. This is what you have to do after you disconnect your battery. So you have to roll it down from the actual window itself on the door that the window is, because it won't work from the driver consoles.
Roll it halfway down.
You roll it halfway down.
And then when you roll it up, you keep holding up on the window button for a couple seconds.
So when you roll it up, you keep holding on the window button for 3 seconds. And then you should be able to come over here, and then it works from your driver panel. Easy as that. I suggest you do the same. Kind of annoyed I forgot all my radio presets, but I got a running car again. You are gonna have to like redo like your memory seats and your memory steering wheel and all that good stuff. In order to do that, just get everything where you want it. Just hold down the 1 and then set, or hold down set and then 1. It'll do a long beep like that, and it'll be set up. Hope this video has been helpful for you guys. If it is, please like and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions. Big thanks to my dad for doing all the work on this, and me just running around with the camera and watching. So thanks again for watching. Let us know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.